right, folks, doing our review is just a little bit different for 2016. We're going to try to combine some things where in the past we've done a short review and then a long review. This is going to be, all in one. There is no short, there is no long. It's just the review. This is the all-new 2016 Toyota Tacoma. This happens to be the TRD edition, and it's all new for 2016. Most of you by now have seen all the commercials. They're rampant on TV. They're all over YouTube. Let's go through the rest of this truck. We'll figure out whether, what we like and don't like about the truck as we go through it. And my son Richard is, instead of behind the camera, we've got a tripod. He's going to join in on the actual review itself. So we're going to kind of do this back and forth. We will not be bantering, but I'll do some of the review. Richard will do some of the review, and we hope you enjoy this. Again, this is the review of the 2016 Toyota Tacoma from Drive Radio. So this particular vehicle, $37,610, as you will notice, and we'll get the camera out and we'll go through some of the close-ups in a minute, but all new styling. So it's got much more of a chiseled look to it than what it's had in the past. Very high setting in the grille assembly, high setting LED or projection lamps with LED running lamps. That's an option. The LED running lamps are an option, but it does have the projection beam lamps, it does have the fog lamps down below, and it does have a really great new bold styling. They stole some of this from its big brother, the Tundra, so that's really where this has come from. They've done a lot of work on this truck. This is, by the way, in the last 10 years in America, the best-selling mid-sized truck out there, and as we go through it, you'll see why. Richard, what are your thoughts on this truck?
It's second in kind of everything that you have said so far. Absolutely fantastic. We're here on the front of the vehicle, so we do want to go through the front styling of the truck. You'll also notice the changed grille right here. They've redesigned that, revamped that. Really, I do like this bold styling. The truck feels more aggressive. It sits more aggressively. And what I would say, and Dad, you can comment on this too, is I think that the way that they've changed the truck, it doesn't even feel like a medium size, or even some people are going to call it a light duty pickup anymore. It feels almost, when you approach this truck from the front or the side, or even driving down the road, it feels like it's almost a full-size pickup, the way that it, in a good way I should say. It doesn't feel boxy, it feels nimble still, but it still gives you that presence and that dominating presence, I guess you could say, that you may or may not want in a truck.
I would agree with that. This particular vehicle, V6 option, 3.5 liter, gives you plenty of horsepower. This particular vehicle, 278 horsepower in this Atkinson V6. Really a great vehicle. Tell you what, we'll take the camera off the tripod. We'll go through some of the rest of the features on the Toyota Tacoma. Again, all new for 2016. All right, we're now going to come around the backside. 2016 Toyota Tacoma. Again, all new for 2016. And we want to show you some of the features that are on the rear of the particular truck, of this particular truck. We also will go through, we'll do a complete walk around of the truck where you can get it close up and see some of the sides and so on. That's hard to do on the tripod, so we will still give you all the close-up views you're used to seeing. We're going to show you some of the things in the back of the truck also. So this particular truck, this is the double cab, and this particular truck has the short box, which is the 5-foot box. You can also get roughly a 6-foot box at 73.7 inches, so call it a 6-foot box. That would be what they consider the long box. But this has the double cab, short box truck. It does have some cool features. One of them happens to be easy lower tailgate. Now, I will say it's easy lower. It's not necessarily easy lift. So some of the other truck manufacturers have done it both ways. It's an easy lower, and it's also an easy raise. This actually does require a little bit of work to get it back up. Not a big deal, but you do have to have a little bit of muscle to get it back up. Backup camera here, which does show the trailer hitch, which this particular model does come equipped with the trailer hitch. 6,000-pound towing capacity on this particular vehicle. You'll see the trailer plug down here. As we do the walk around, we'll go through some of that. But again, nice chiseled rear look to it. Rear spoiler built in. Richard, talk about the composite bed that the truck comes with.
Really nice, honestly a great feature of it. We mentioned the easy lower tailgate on it. Really love the composite bed. Makes putting things in very, very easily. You're not worried about scratching up the bed, and we'll get to that here in a second and show you a very close-up view of it. But it really makes it nice to where if you're putting tools in, which actually makes it nice because, again, we'll show you in just a second, it actually has a full outlet, power outlet back here. You can power whatever you need to. There's a lot of different storage compartments. Another feature, again, which we'll show you in just a second, it does have this Toyota grid lock system that gives you the ability to tie things down at different points. You can actually move these hooks, and you can actually see them. If we lower the tailgate, you can see them on that side that Dad, you kind of able to show them. You can actually move them to wherever you want to. Again, just unscrew them and slide them up, down, left, right, however you want it to do it. You can turn it. It really is a very nice, handy feature to do it, and you have to kind of loosen it.
Yeah, I've got them loosened. Get them pretty loose to get them to slide up and down.
So,
and there's notches where these actually fit in so that they actually stay put once you get them in the position that they need to be in. So you would get it there, turn it back in. One thing we should mention on the composite bed real quick, not to interrupt Richard here, but to just mention real quick, it is a sheet composite bed, and they're claiming that it's actually 10% stronger than steel. So even though it looks kind of plasticky, and it is actually plasticky, this bed is actually 10% stronger. One thing also too, and it's hard for Richard to note it on his side, but you'll notice in here, it's got the ability with boards and stackability where you've actually got a double tier system in the back of this bed really kind of built into it. So again, yeah, really, really great feature. And you know, in a lot of cases, people would think this is a truck that's for Richard's generation, being a younger person's vehicle. You know what? That's not true. A lot of guys my age still love this truck, still buy this truck. Again, one of the reasons why it's the top, the best-selling truck 10 years running, I should say, in its segment. So 10 years straight here in America, this is the truck to buy. Real quick, I should also note, we haven't talked about this much, but this particular truck, $37,610 for this particular model. This is the TRD double cab. This truck, though, does start out two-wheel drive version, 4-cylinder, $23,300. You can get the V6 four-wheel drive, or sorry, the four-wheel drive non-V6. So the four-wheel drive 4-cylinder model, $24,825. So you can get into a Tacoma truck for under $25,000. Tell you what, let's take the camera off the tripod. Richard, let's walk around the rest of the truck. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, folks, what we're going to do now is take a complete walk around the vehicle. In fact, I'm going to hop in the back seat and show you what that's like. We'll then take a quick drive. Let's walk around 2016 Toyota Tacoma. And this, again, is the TRD 4x4 off-road unit. And as you can tell, one thing I do love about this car is the color. Notice also back here, Richard just showing you, Toyota does a great job. They put a little fluting on the taillights. They're kind of known for that. It helps with some of the aerodynamics of the vehicle. Rear spoiler that they've built in back into the tailgate, which we also talked about. This particular body, they have actually made the frame, or sorry, not the frame. They've made the frame more rigid than they have in the past, and with the body, they've put more high-strength steel into this particular body, which again should add to the rigidity of the vehicle, the feel, and we've talked about some of that as far as how the vehicle drives, how it rolls along, how you feel when you're driving it. This car, home run, by the way, Toyota, you've really done a great job. And this particular vehicle on a TRD, Bilstein shocks, locking rear diff with multi-terrain sensing, crawl control, hill start control, and as you can see, this comes with the 16-inch alloy wheels on it, and I think they've got 3 different wheel options that you can get, or sizes of wheels you can get, and there are 5 different models of this particular Tacoma to choose from: SR, SR5, TRD Sport, TRD Off-Road, and then finally the Limited. All right, folks, before I hop in and actually sit in this seat and actually show you how much legroom's in, and it's hard to see with the lighting, but there is under-seat storage back here. So this seat just flips up. You grab this little strap up here, it folds up, and there are 2 compartments under both seats where I actually can open that up. And there are boxes, so jack is in this side, but there is openings on the other side also where you can store some items in there. Kind of a nice feature that they've done, and it also gives the ability to store some things not totally flat, because when the seat's up, you'll notice there's a little bit of a curvature. You can put some things in there, but frankly, I found it's as easy to put stuff right on top of the flat seat itself. That actually works out as well. I'm going to jump in the back seat real quick so Richard can show you how much room there actually is. So we've got this seat positioned all the way back on purpose. So this is in the farthest back position. I'm 5'10". I'm going to hop in, and you're going to notice here real quick that it is really, really tight for me being 5'10" with this seat all the way back. Now, if we move this forward a little bit, I would have a little bit more room. We just wanted to show you with this all the way back how much room is actually in the back. This is not a full-size truck. This is, again, what they consider the mid-size truck. Great apportionments throughout. We'll talk about that when we go for a drive here in just a minute. This one does come with the sunroof. There's grab handles above your head right here. And again, they've done nice apportionments throughout. They've done a really good job on that, I think anyways. Nice styling that they've put on the door panels and the dash, which we'll show you in just a minute, that really kind of match the front end as far as the blockiness of it, I guess you could say. Toyota, you've done a great job again on the interior. Tell you what, let's go for a quick drive. All right, folks, we're now going to take a quick drive. I want to show you some of the other interior features. Again, partly of that because it's so cold outside. It's hard to do all of that outside. So as you'll notice real quick, they've changed the entire dash assembly on this 2016 Tacoma. Really, really nice. Again, they've, as I talked about in the rear seat, a lot of the way that things look on the interior matches the front grille assembly. I love the way they've allowed that to flow through the vehicle. Love the stitching in the seats. I know it's hard to see here, but in this particular vehicle, it's got cloth seats with some orange stitching. Still has heated front seats, which I like. Dual climate control, which is an option on this truck. Again, puts this truck at around $37,000. Sunroof you can see above your head. All of the controls up above your head for all of your hill descent, locking rear diff, all of that is right there. Easy to see and navigate through. I'm not going to talk a ton about the Intune system because we've talked about that before with Toyota. It's one of the best systems on the market, at least I think it is. Richard, I think, would agree with me. It works extremely well, easy to navigate. I love the fact that it has a tune knob over here, and as you notice, everything is positioned where my hands just touch everything without really even having to lean forward. That part I really appreciate. Having the steering wheel, all of the things that you need on the wheel are right here. Cruise control over the side. You go through your LCD screen in the middle here. We've averaged about 20 miles to the gallon in this vehicle. At least I have. Richard averages about 18. Again, 3.5 liter Atkinson V6, variable valve timing. This car actually works fantastic. Let me make sure I turn the heat down a little bit too to kind of keep some of that airflow down. I'll put it in reverse and you'll see it does have the camera option and it does not have the dynamic grid line. So when I turn the wheel, the lines do not change. It still is there. You can still see where things are at. It does give you a red line to tell how close you are as far as your distance is concerned, and it does aid in parking. But I tell you what, let's take a quick drive, and I think I kind of want to turn around here real quick. So the locking diff's not in, so let's just see if we can spin this thing around here real quick. And as you notice, we do have a lot of snow here. We've had some snow here in Colorado. This particular vehicle, I will tell you this: in four-wheel drive, fantastic. In fact, there were a lot of days when we had roads just like this, didn't even need to put it in four-wheel drive. I just drove it around in two-wheel drive, and the car works fantastic. A little bit of a rougher ride that you may get on the TRD versions because of the heavier shocks that are on them. You'll have to be the judge of that. They do a little bit of suspension tuning, and of course the Bilstein shocks may make it feel a little bit differently, although I will tell you this truck, to me personally, of course I'm used to driving a 1-ton Dodge, this truck works fantastic. The ride is smooth. The one thing about it that you will have to get a little bit used to, at least I did, is with a bigger truck, you're used to just kind of pushing on the gas a little bit. There's plenty of torque to get you going, and then off you go. This particular truck is not so much that way. You really do have to get a little bit of RPM into this truck to actually allow it to have the power that's there. You know, it's close to 300 horsepower, but that is made at the higher power, at the higher end of the RPM range, I should say. And so you really don't feel that come on the low end scale like you normally would. Now, is that a problem with this particular truck? Absolutely not. It's just something to know. When I first started driving, and I thought, man, I wish this thing had more power. The more I drove it and realized I just have to push the foot feed down a little further, the accelerator pedal down a little further. Once I started doing that, I realized, man, there is plenty of power here. That's not an issue at all. So you know what, Tacoma, you guys have done a great job, or Toyota, I should say. You've done a great job on this Tacoma. I tell you what, we'll go back, we'll reset up the tripod, and we'll go around some of the rest of this. Then Richard and I at the end will give you our opinion of the all-new 2016 Toyota Tacoma. Okay, one thing we forgot to mention of all of this that we were doing, we're going to go back and set the tripod up right now. One thing I forgot to mention: standard GoPro mount, even has the GoPro logo on it. So a lot of you guys that do a lot of off-roading and you want to video what you're doing, standard mount built right into the windshield. You can see it's even got the blackout for the windshield right around it. Not a distraction at all. You can clip your GoPro right on there and away you go. So really cool feature. Again, Toyota, just one more home run on the 2016 Toyota Tacoma. All right, we're going to give you our opinion. And I do mean our opinion because Richard's going to actually join in on this. 2016 Tacoma, and this is the all-new version for 2016. This is the TRD version. Now, real quick, what are some of the things that we love about the truck? I'm going to do one con on this truck only. Only one con, believe it or not. Richard might have the same con. We'll find out. So here are my pros. First of all, I love the TRD options that Toyota are now offering on their full-size, or on both their trucks, full-size and this truck. I really like all the options that comes with. Bilstein shocks. It's got the locking rear diff, hill descent control, things along those lines. Really cool options. I love the 3.5 in this at first, and Richard will comment on this in a minute, I think. It seems like it's a little underpowered when you first start driving this truck. Part of that's because of the all-new Atkinson engine that this particular vehicle's got. So it's a 3.5 liter. It doesn't have a lot of what I would call stump pulling low-end torque, but when you get this thing wound up, it does flat out haul. In fact, it'll turn the tires on the back end of this truck very easily. We showed you a little bit of that in the driving portion, but you can see with all the snow around here, that's not that easily shown. This truck, though, does work great. It's an off-road machine. It's fantastic. They've done a great job on the interior. It's still all Toyota, all Tacoma. So Toyota, you've done a really great job on there. Here's my one con. You know what? I'm gonna say it this way, Richard. Richard commented on this earlier before we actually did the review. We showed you when we were driving. Really cool key fob. Hanging off of it is a single key. Some of you would ask, well, what's the single key for? There's push button start on this car. The single key is to run around to the back and unlock and lock the tailgate. Toyota, do what a lot of the other manufacturers have done and make that tailgate automatic locking so I don't need that bloody key. That's the only complaint with this car I've got is that stupid bloody key you'd have to keep on your key ring. Richard, what are your thoughts?
Absolutely 110% agree. It's fantastic car to drive, truck I should say, truck to drive, and it truly is a truck. It feels, driving down the road, you don't feel like you're in a truck, which is a nice thing. I actually had my wife in it, and then you had mom in it, and she was driving around, and we got several comments about how, wow, this doesn't feel like a truck driving around, which is a great thing, especially with this TRD edition, which is designed to ride maybe a little bit rougher than your standard Tacoma would. So that's a plus in my mind. I love the interior features, the exterior styling. Tacoma and Toyota have just done a fantastic job at redesigning it for 2016. I love the composite bed on it, the features that gives you, the storage capabilities, again, the small package. Really, again, I mentioned the exterior styling one more time. My con is with you. I'm not sure what Toyota is doing with that little key. You've got a push button start in this truck. You've got the ability to get in. It actually has the locking doors to where you can push the outside of the doors, touch sensing doors, I should say. Not sure what that key fob's for. Would that prevent us from buying the truck? Not by any means. Absolutely fantastic truck. We loved driving it. We loved running around in it. And honestly, I'm a fan of it. And I would definitely consider this truck going forward if we had to purchase it. If you're interested in this vehicle, check out Toyota's website. They have a lot more information than we can even provide you in this short video. And also head to your local Toyota dealer and tell them that John and Richard Rush from Drive Radio sent you.